And welcome to the Football 360 show, the fastest 48 minutes of football talk on the planet. I am JP Rock, joined as always with Matt Bierman. How you doing today, Matt?
Doing great.
It's a beautiful day outside. I'll tell you what, you don't need a parka, you don't need to have your long underwear on, you don't need your thermal boots, none of that stuff.
Man, Sunday was cold. Saturday and Sunday were really cold.
I'll tell you what, we've experienced kind of a brutal week or so, couple of weeks. Which
Yeah.
is funny because I mean, see where it's going to be 72 degrees on Christmas.
Is it really?
That's the word, man. It's going to be 72 degrees on Christmas. So we
Well,
got our snow and our Christmas weather.
Salt Lake City, and a week ago, he was like,
Yeah,
"Man, it is unseasonably warm out here." Well, obviously, they're in the valley in Salt
right.
Lake City, but
Yeah, it's
you can
all over the
see
place.
that weather coming. I guess it's coming straight west. So, but yeah, they've
Yeah.
been unseasonably warm. I guess the mountains got snow, but they are warm.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, after once Christmas is gone, you can just turn on spring because
Yeah,
I'm done. I
yeah,
don't I don't need
I agree.
snow after Christmas. I don't need none of that stuff. So anyway, we're here to talk football, not the weather, although we could. We could talk Christmas, I
I think
guess.
weather gets the ratings though, JP.
Weather does get the ratings.
Yeah.
Weather and Christmas. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Holly Jolly Christmas, or are you more
That's
like
that's
an
you.
away in the manger guy? Yeah,
Oh, man, you know what? Too many good ones to even choose.
there is too
But
many good
I
ones.
only want to hear them like from now till Christmas Day, and then I'm good.
You know what? I've been nonstop Christmas songs for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah. Are you the
Every
guy? What's the radio station that only plays?
one 102.5 KEZK.
You got it
Free
locked in.
plug. I got it locked in. I got it locked in.
Go.
Otherwise, I'm a Sirius XM guy. Anyway, you can catch us on the radio on Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Speaking of radio, 590 a.m. KLIS, your Lou Info station, louinfo.com. You want to watch it, you can do that as well. Of course, all things Football 360 Show, football360show.com. Catch us on X as well as YouTube. Go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, follow us on X as well. And if you're just an audio guy, you're a podcast guy, like apparently a lot of our viewers are, Apple as well as Spotify. And it's good to make your top five. Appreciate all you people who've reached out and said that we're in your top five of listens. So anyway, football. I'm telling you what, man. Probably going to start off talking about the local guys that we know pretty well and how they're doing with football. Mr. Jeremiah Love, Heisman finalist,
Yeah.
right? And of course, Brady
All-American.
Cook.
Doak
Yeah.
Walker Award winner.
Yeah. And of course, Mr. Brady Cook making his NFL debut as a starting quarterback. How about that?
Yeah, excellent. It was fun to watch. Really fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, that was really fun to watch. I watched him like arrive and just, they really kind of give him a pretty good build up in New
He
York.
did. You know how it goes with these guys, the NFL players, like they wear the outfits they wear,
Mhm.
whatever before the game. It's kind of a fashion statement. Joe
Yeah.
Burrow, Brady went pretty
Traditional.
traditional. But I got a text first thing in the morning from his dad, and it was a picture of Brady and his mom, and he was in his little outfit, whatever, getting ready to go. But
Yeah.
it's such a good family, good people. Like they've done it the right way. Get to see Brady go through all that and do it. Yeah, obviously they didn't get the win like they wanted to, man, but their poor defense couldn't stop a cold. And then the D
No.
coordinator, former Mizzou coach Steve Wilkes, was let go yesterday or the day, yesterday.
Right
So
after kind of
right,
after the game.
but Brady's stat line was pretty impressive. I mean, obviously the interceptions were not unbelievably well received, I'm sure, but
Right.
one of which I would say being grading him, I would say for sure was on him. But the other two you could argue were, one was a receiver didn't finish a route and look for the ball in time out of his break, and then the other was just kind of a 50-50. The other guy made a heck of a catch, just made a play on it. But he was 22 of 33, 176 yards, one
Hey,
touchdown, 3 picks. So 22 of 33 is pretty darn good, right? I don't know what the
absolutely. Your NFL debut, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Brady was a free agent, correct?
yeah, free agent.
So
Now
so
the
I
Jets
mean,
bring him in Like he
Uh-huh.
kind of knew that the Jets probably are the place he was going to go if he
Right.
didn't get drafted by one of the other teams. But it just kind of felt like that's what they were going to be because they had Justin Fields signed.
Mm.
They weren't going to draft anybody, but it looks like, I mean, he's in a good situation. I mean, obviously they could draft someone next year now. I don't foresee Justin Fields being there next year, but I definitely think Brady's done enough to warrant sticking around, right? And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
so JP, I'll have to get this pulled up, but I think it's an interesting thing. So you can bring up talk about Jeremiah or any of those guys, but while I'm bringing it up, there's a interesting set of facts with the New York Jets, and I'll bring it up here and see. I just have to pull the stat up because I think it's
Yeah, but it's incredibly impressive considering Brady is a free agent, and so here we are now. He's starting, has a good showing, which really, the Jets will keep him around, or I'm sure other teams see that. And quarterback play in the NFL, everybody's looking for a good quarterback. I see Brady sticking around in the NFL for a good while. And it's funny because I spoke to Mizzou fans, and of course they love to use him as a punching bag, right? And so
oh yeah,
talk to Mizzou fans that love to do that. And I explained to them, Brady Cook is going to go to the NFL and he's going to stick around, have a similar career, either as a Blaine Gabbert or a Chase Daniel. And so
12,
he will have
14-year guys. And yeah, I had a guy
correct.
tell me, I think we talked about it on the show. I had a guy he's the brother of Bush Hamden, who's now the D or O coordinator. He was at Kentucky last year. He was at Mizzou, obviously, but he's at Mississippi State. His brother, who's a 4 or 5 year NFL vet, maybe 6 years, whatever it was, he went around and spent time with all these college programs, and he told me, he's like, Brady Cook's my favorite guy out of all of them. He goes, he'll be a 10-year NFL vet for sure. He's like,
and
he'll stick around. He's a guy that's he's got it. He's got it mentally. He's got it physically. The whole deal.
Right, and that's exactly what I told them. And of course, they're like, "Oh, come on, man, you should." I go, I know a thing or two about a thing or two, and I'm telling you what's going to happen. He's going to get in the NFL and he's going to play, and voila, here we are. And so these same people, I talk to them. They're like, "Hey, man, how about Brady Cook?" I'm like, "Excuse me." You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so when Brady Cook wasn't around to be the whipping boy, it became Kirby Moore, the new head coach at Washington State. But back to the Jets, you had some kind of stat you wanted.
So I'm going to send this to Ryan, but I guess it probably won't even make sense to even put it up. It's not that big of a deal, the image. But so we have 4 players that play for the New York Jets, and there's one that's a fifth that I'll kind of give you the why I'm not going to say like he's not a guy like that we train, but definitely someone we spent a lot of time with and helped.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have 4 players that are on the Jets that have trained at elite football. So you have Brady Cook.
Yeah.
You have Tony Adams.
Yes.
Isaiah Williams and Marquise Hayes. So you have those 4. So those 4. What do you think the odds of a training program of putting 4 guys in the NFL on the same team? So I had ChatGPT do this, and the odds of it happening, I should have played a lottery ticket, damn it. But the rough reality is there's 1 million high school football players, 1,700 total in the NFL. Odds of a random high school player making it to the NFL would be 0.02%. Okay.
Yeah.
The odds of making one specific NFL team would be 32 teams. The odds of that being one specific team, the Jets, is 1 in 5,000 times 1 in 32, which is a 1 in 160,000 chance. The odds of 4 players being on the same team is roughly 1 in 6.55 times 10 to the 20th power, which whatever the hell that is.
No.
655 quintillion is the odds that would happen.
People love numbers.
The odds that we have 4 guys from a training facility in St. Louis, Missouri,
yes,
all trained, most of which started when they were pretty young guys, right? Tony was in middle school. Brady was in 2nd grade. Isaiah started in middle school. And then Marquise was like maybe freshman, sophomore year. So those 4, and then the 5th guy, which would really throw it out of whack, is Colin Saunders, who went to Parkway Central, we did stuff with him. He did some of our camps. But I would tell you, I played a fairly strategic role with Mark.
Defensive lineman, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl champion.
Is it a Kalen?
Kalen Colin. It's spelled like
It's spelled
Kalen,
different. It's Kalen. Yeah,
Colin with a K.
You threw me with the Colin.
Colin. KHALN. ALN.
He pronounces it Kalen.
Yeah. So, but there's a
Marquise from Pattonville. Of course.
Marquise Hayes.
Brady,
offensive tackle.
Brady from Chaminade. Isaiah from Trinity.
Yep. So all those guys. But so the Saunders, Colin Saunders deal is he's a guy that really had nothing coming out of high school, and Coach Mark Watson was at Western Illinois at the time, and we talked extensively about him. And he was kind of one of those guys that flew under the radar because they had Jonathan Bonner that was going to Notre Dame. They had a big running back going to Iowa. I'm trying to think his name, but they had a bunch of guys on that team that were going, Division I. And Colin Saunders was one of those guys, in my opinion, that was absolutely a guy that, he was like 300 pounds, could backflip, could run the football.
Right.
And
he was nothing. Fun, man.
He had nothing going. But Mark Watson, I tipped him off, said, hey, you got to really look at this kid. And he ended up going to Western Illinois, got drafted from Western Illinois, and then by the Chiefs, and ended up winning a couple Super Bowls with them. And then now he's kind of bouncing around the league, but he is also there. So we also have another guy that's that we trained and that worked at our facility that's in the Chiefs, in the Jets scouting department, Ray Agnew Jr. So there's like 5 guys, and then they're playing the Jags this weekend.
Yeah,
pretty cool because the GM of the Jags, James Gladstone's another guy that we trained. He's like 32 years old, and he's the GM, and they've turned that thing around. I think they're a 10-win season so far for them, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I've been waiting to kind of like put that out there. But we got 4 guys that we trained, all of which are now on the same NFL team. Just the odds of that. We've had now 2 years ago. We had 4 guys on the Lions. Isn't that wild? But Isaiah Williams.
Yeah.
But now he's just on a different team.
Yeah, it's not wild because I've been kind of following along.
Yeah.
But for
but like the average bear would be like, wow, that's interesting.
No, I'm just saying, when you watch it happen, right? It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But you're absolutely right. Your average person, your average fan, somebody who's playing football now who wants to get there someday, right? You should pay attention to stuff like that because it's important.
There's colleges that have never had 4 kids on the same NFL team. Think about that. We have 4 kids that came out of the same training program, all different high schools, that are on the same roster of a 53 plus to 60 guys, in an NFL program.
Yeah.
Like wild. So yeah. Anyway, just
and those guys all went through the elite football combine, right?
Yep. Yeah, bunch of them. All the stuff we're telling kids that still works.
Boom football, right? Yeah. I mean, I think Isaiah played quarterback at the time, though.
Yeah,
with Boom, right? So was he on
the story that I think is so cool? Is I may have said this before, but we were in a Chicago tournament years ago, and we were light some guys because everybody on this particular team had a bunch of offers, but Brady Cook was the youngest guy on that team, and we only had like 10 or 11 kids that could make it to Rockford, Illinois, and Isaiah looks at me and goes, "Hey, coach, let me play receiver." I'm like, he goes, and then I could play some DB too, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, you're like a 4-star, 5-star quarterback. I'm not going to get you hurt and have Coach Patterson, ream me." Like that, like it's not worth this. You know what I mean? So long story short, we got in a pickle where we really did need him. And so he's like, let Brady play quarterback. So young Brady Cook's out there with all the older guys playing. And I'll never forget the first play we're playing this team. And there's like a scuffle on the far sideline. Isaiah, who, is not a gigantic guy, took this kid and ran him off the field, jammed him off the field. Like, I mean, absolutely just destroyed him. And that was it. And then, the rest of the week, our weekend, Brady played quarterback, Isaiah played receiver. And we ended up losing in the championship to triple overtime to our Chicago Boom team. And Yeah, Malik. I don't think I forgot the guy's name was, but anyway, big tight end that played at Alabama caught the game winner on us, and Kyron Williams was on that field. I mean, there was probably 6 NFL players on that field between our Chicago and St. Louis teams.
I'm telling you what, you really need at the Elite Performance and Football Academy, you need like a wall of fame,
Yeah,
right? You need to just as soon as people walk in,
we got
show
the,
that.
the plays, but we got to like. There's probably 50 names of kids that we
Oh,
still need to add.
absolutely,
Big
absolutely. I
skill.
mean, you could just like on the way in and on the way out, just have the names. You have pictures of kids like that, but that's pretty wild. No, Isaiah Williams was a guy. He was a football player, very much like the McClellan brothers. You know, like Nick, who's going to be going to K-State. You can put him anywhere on the field,
Yep.
and they were gonna do stuff. Jeremiah and Nick and you know, Isaiah. I'll tell you what, that Trinity team, man, that was pretty darn good. That was
Yep.
pretty darn good.
Oh,
Yeah, with
gosh.
Isaiah, Mookie Cooper,
Mookie
Yep.
Cooper, Marcus
Washington. Yep.
Frenchie.
Yeah. I mean, that was
There was a whole crew of guys. Yeah, there
There
was Coach
was
Patterson had that was a
Larry
really-
Boyd. Yeah.
Larry Boyd. Yeah, Larry Boyd went to
Big
Illinois.
Larry.
Bunch of dudes. It's just a bunch of big guys, and they had the. Yeah, I had Braden, my son, watch Isaiah's highlight film the other day,
Mhm.
and oh my gosh, his like the thing about him is he was so athletic, but he could throw extremely well. Right, his mechanics were clean. Just such a good athlete. But that's why you see him returning punts now. He returned a third punt, so he's returned 2 already this year. And then in the game, they were like talking about, they're not going to punt to him. They punted to him. He returns it. And it was the worst call I've ever seen. They called it back on, I don't know if you're watching the game, they called it back due to a player getting blocked out of bounds, and they kept blocking him out of bounds. And the ref blew it. I mean, even the commentator was like, well, all 4 feet have to be everybody has to be out of bounds for
Right.
that to be the case. And not all 4 of their feet were out of bounds. So, you know, between the 2 of them. But yeah, he returned another one and he walked into the end zone. He is a very special athlete. And it's cool because they've interviewed him after both games and asked him about Brady. And it has been very humble, very clean answers. But he's like, hey, Brady's a dog. He works hard.
Yep.
Everybody loves him. He recounted something that happened practice last week where I guess they do some competition phase, and Brady got in the huddle and changed the play completely so that they could score, and they
Mhm.
scored. I mean, he's competitive. Isaiah's competitive, so it's just really cool to see those guys. Full circle moment, you know, for me. Obviously, having both trained those 2, you know, literally hundreds, if not thousands, of hours, both of them, get to see that happen live. It was just kind of surreal. But you know, at the end of the day, you're just a fan watching it. You're cheering for them. You love them. You want to see them do well, and you know how harsh the game can be. So you celebrate it while it's going really good.
Yeah, it is, but it's very noteworthy, right? And I, you know, especially Brady Cook. I mean, after everything that he endured at Mizzou, and he was highly successful. And I'm telling you what, if he was there this year, you're talking about a playoff team,
Yep.
right? They make the playoffs.
100%.
They might go undefeated, you know,
Yeah.
if he was there this year. It just the timing just didn't work out. But I think that given everything that he went through at Mizzou and the criticism, I think that him doing this is just such a in your face moment,
Yeah, I
you
would
know,
so.
to the critics, and to go and to have the amount of success he has, because the Jets are not a great team, you know, obviously. And so just his poise that he shows, the continued poise, is just unbelievable. He's made of really strong stuff mentally. And you know, when we get him back on the show, because he's been on the show, we probably should have booked him for today if he was
I
available.
know.
But I'm sure that what he went through at Mizzou and the criticism and everything, I'm sure that has made him mentally tough to the point to where he can handle this now, right? It's just
Right.
another
It's
day at
probably
the
not
office.
a harsher place to play than New York. You know, so far so good. I mean, I would say that the New York fans
They've
been
accepted him.
very,
Yeah.
very accepting of him. And here's the thing: I think what you get with him, there's not a lot of pretentiousness. I think people
No.
appreciate Midwestern people from the perspective of like it's just kind of head down and work.
Mhm.
He's definitely, you know, he's exemplifies those traits, and he's definitely a guy who's going to get out there and give you everything. Yeah, is he perfect? No, but the truth of the matter is they were still battling, trying to get back in that game, and they had no. I mean, again, like I said, the defense, and taking nothing away from the Jags. That might be the best Jags team I've seen, and I watched them for a number of years when Blaine was there, and even when Blake Bortles was there. They just didn't have it going. And even when Trevor Lawrence is early in his career, they just didn't kind of. So Trevor Lawrence seems like he's breaking the curse that's been plaguing that.
Okay.
This plaguing that organization, because they've just had. It was the last time they won 10 games.
Right.
So
right. No.
Yeah,
it's
the stadium still was not full. That's the shocking thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a winning team. So, and they're getting ready to plunk down, or they're in the process of building a new stadium. So I don't know how that works. I have no idea how that works.
I'm telling you what, it seems like it was just yesterday when they were the new, franchise that was awarded. Watching that, I know St. Louis was hoping to get a franchise at the time when that happened. But no, just great stuff, and I'm really happy for him. Really happy for Isaiah, and you can give yourself a pat on the back. I mean, we talk about it a little bit from time to time, but just the amount of talent that comes through elite football and have come through all of the events. I mean, the elite combine is coming up. You have the middle school one coming up. You have the main one coming up. I'm sending out invites and stuff and updating things. It's like now in our 17th year. 17 years.
Crazy, JP. I mean, me and you and I mean, the good thing is you and I have not aged even a day.
Oh man, we're Benjamin Button, buddy. We're going in reverse, man. I mean, we're going in reverse.
You look at some of those early days when we're doing those combines. It's funny. I was thinking today, and it's a project I shouldn't even talk about, that it's on my list of things to do, to go back, and we're gonna read, because we have all the data from all those old combines, right? And make that into like a single database that you can search, like a searchable database that you can run on the website. So that'll make it a lot easier for you and I to go pull scores up on people.
That would be helpful.
I think that we're gonna get that done here before long. So, but I think it is so fun to think about all the guys that have come through, and then knowing them before they were, names that are in the NFL.
Before they were guys
that are big time college kids, and they're just looking for a shot, looking for an opportunity. And and I think the thing is about the combine, and we hear so many different things, and this is taking no shots at anybody, but if you're going to go to a combine, have some standardized testing, people getting hand timed. I can tell you, if I look at a batch of 100 people, and I can tell you what the normal distribution would be of the 40 times. And if, the first 50, everybody's under 5 flat, that means there was a hand timer. You can 100%, if they're high school kids, especially if they're young high school kids. And, I just, again, I just, people have to know what they're getting themselves into when it comes to recruiting, and when it comes to recruiting exposure. And that's great to get that time put down, and then you advertise that you ran a 4.7. But in reality, you get to their summer camp, and they're doing lasers or whatever they're doing, or you go to a national combine and you're running on a laser, and you're running a 5 or a 4.95, something like that. So it's just a matter of people understanding what it is and what it isn't. Right. And I think that and again, I think you got to be ready. If you're going to go to a combine, you got to be ready. You can't just show up and go do it. You got to prepare for it. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, if you're a young guy and you don't know and you show up, that's fine. But as the older that you get and you're going to a combine, it means a lot. All right. So you have to prepare. And even when you're a young guy, you should prepare. And you offer that opportunity for guys to prepare.
So, and here's the thing. Yeah, we do. We can help you get faster and help you get more confident in your starts and how to take the test. But it's also knowing why you're going. And then, like you said, if you're a young guy, you should just go audit the course, essentially. Go take it, see how you do, go
learn.
I think it doesn't get real serious till you're a freshman, got to be a sophomore. And that gets real serious when you're a sophomore, going to be a junior. Yeah. And then junior, going to be a senior. But I think that sophomore, junior is probably the most exposure, potential, right? As far as showing up and arriving. But I think there's so many people out there that just like JP, I had a comment a guy wrote the other day, and I thought to myself, like, there's so many people that are kind of ancillary in the game that think, well, you don't need to do that. Why do you need to talk to someone about recruiting? Why do you got to listen to a show like what you're doing? Just if you're good enough, they're going to find you. That is biggest pile of crap I've ever heard, because the reality of it is
those days are over, man.
Those days are over. Like, yeah, of course you have to have good film. I mean, that's a prerequisite. You have to have good times. You have to have all the things that you're supposed to be able to do. You have to check those boxes. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not gaining exposure and going to events, if you're not going to the right events prepared, if you're not
showing the right information,
right, and having a good idea of what it is and why it works and why it's not going to, what you should expect from it, it doesn't work. I've done that. That's just a scam. You don't need to do that. Well, I'll tell you, if you're not sending your information out via X and emails, good luck that they're going to figure out who you are, because someone else is going to do it and they're going to figure out who you are. Like if they show up on your scouting report, right, that goes out to colleges, that's a way. But JP, how do you find a lot of these guys? Yes, you scour them, but don't you want to verify them and see them at some point?
Yeah, hence the invites to, to the elite combine, to the KC varsity combine, who, still affiliated with, going to be coming up. I mean, those are the big daddies. You know what I mean? Those are the ones. Those are the verifiable ones. If you go between those two combines and look at the guys who have gone on and been successful in college and pro football, like we're talking. I mean, it just popped into my head. By the way, Michael Slater was the running back that went to Iowa.
Slater, yes.
My brain. It's Asian, but it's still there. It just popped into my head. And I was just thinking about it, and a couple of names that came to mind is I don't know if you remember him, but Dominic Orange, right, was a defensive lineman from North Kansas City, came on over to the elite combine from Kansas City, just earned I think it was third team defensive lineman for Iowa State. Big Trevor Burr, they came to the same combine, right, from Washington, Missouri. Just one honorable mention offensive lineman. And in that same group, you had Ja'Kai Lang, who went to Mizzou. You had Talon Chan. I mean, that was a show, man. Yeah. Those guys going up. I forget the big lineman from East St. Louis that went to Tennessee and was doing a lot of
Spraggins.
Yeah, Javante Spraggins. Those battles. I mean, I still have the film of Javante Spraggins and Dominic Orange. We're talking about 320-pound high school guys, right? Just battling it out, and they each one won reps against each other. But that was just a glimpse of the future. That's what the elite combine. That's what we're talking about. You want to come, and guess what? They come up, they go against those kind of guys. What does it do? Makes them better.
Makes it better. It also shows someone like yourself who's then putting reports out.
Yep.
And that's going to colleges. It helps the number of times too that we've walked out of there and there's college coaches banging on the door to get the results in any film, right? And then knowing who did what. So the
phones are blowing up, man.
To say it doesn't matter, and to say that you're just going to get recruited by putting out good game film. Like I can tell you, like there's it's the same thing with the college coaches. Right now, there's a wave of highlight films going out that went out for the last month. Let's just say people are putting their highlight films out, which is awesome. You got to do it. But on the flip side, you got to think the volume of that. But right now they're in the film evaluation phase, right? And then recruiting's going to end, like the signing day is going to come and go. They're going to turn their attentions to the 27s and 28s and maybe some 29s. But by and large, they don't really care about what the film is once you get past a certain time, because that's next season. Let's see what you do next season, right?
Yep.
So you're hoping that the film you put out this year got you on some lists, right? And how do you know if you're going on lists? Well, sometimes it's an invite to a game. Sometimes it's a follow from someone on social media. Sometimes it's nothing at all, right? And you don't know. Sometimes it's just you're on a list and they've done nothing with their list yet, and it just kind of takes time. Or they saw your film, it did not intrigue them, and they moved on. And that can happen, right? And so, that's why we always talk about our athletes have to always be improving. You have to always be doing something. You can't be stagnant. You cannot worry about what you did last year. You can only do what you can do right now.
You have to always be building. And I know I hear people say, keep working. I say, keep building, because that's the only way that you're going to reach the highest level possible, right? Everybody works. Everybody shows up. You know it. You have guys show up and they work hard, man. They show up to elite. They show up to training and they work hard. But if they're not building each time they're there, you're spinning your wheels. And
Right.
you're not gonna reach that level. So you should go into your training to improving your skills from a building perspective. You're a builder. You're building blocks, right? To keep getting higher and higher. And I mean, it really is the moves. I say with game plan strategies all the time. By the way, book a free consultation with me, gpsfootball.org. I say all the time, it's the moves you make off the field that are just as important as the moves you make on the field,
Mm-hmm.
right? The off season is coming up. Talking to guys about the elite combine, and they're excited, right? Because football's over now. And it's like, well, what do I do now? You know, what's my next plan? A lot of guys play sports, and there's some guys who are playing baseball, and it's like, we've talked about this. You got to be careful what sports you're playing and how long you play them. It can affect you. It can delay your recruitment. There are guys going through that now. I'm talking with guys. I'm consulting guys right now who are, they're still out there. They're still looking for a home, and but what's interesting about that is like some of the guys. I'm not going to mention names. Some of the guys are guys who I've tried to intervene in for years. Come to the elite combine, do this, come to the KC varsity combine. You got to get, just like you said, my reports are one thing. You want to have that verified information, right? When I have that verified information, which it doesn't get better, than you. And one of the things on the elite combine information is, it's trusted by every program on every level: D1, D2, D3, NAI, JUCO. That's what they
We've done
want.
it for so long. And here's the thing. We do it at Lindenwood. They're all at Lindenwood. It's the same,
Mhm.
equipment, same people, same everything. And the JP, like I just think what is interesting is like you and I both know. I mean, the number of times I've told someone like, yeah, get in, just train, like just start work. And they think it's like this. Well, yeah, you just want to make money off me. Okay, yes, we do. We do provide a service. It does cost
Oh,
money. We do have a
yeah.
building. We're invested in it. We do have infrastructure. We have people. We have things that are going on that we are investing in equipment.
But really, I mean, that's such a stupid way to look at things. You might be making money, but they're investing in their future.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
that's like I said, back to game plan strategies, right? It's helping your future,
Yep.
helping you navigate your future, and you have to do that. You have to do that in this day and age. And I'm telling you what, I can't tell you the number of coaches who are at Lindenwood who have heard about a guy from the elite combine, right?
Yeah.
Or the KC varsity combine, and they want to see them, and they know about them. That's how they know about them, because I'll report on it,
Right.
right?
But with
That's
JP, that's the way. If you look at how it's built, right? So the season ends. Now you're in your rebuild phase where you're taking care of your body. You're
Yep.
starting to work out again. January we'll start to add the skills back in. So you're working out, running, lifting, eating right, all those things. Then you tap your skill back in, and then come March, we will have a ton of exposure with the elite football combine. Give you a platform to do that. Right, that
Mhm.
kicks off the spring. Then you got to get back to the drawing board. You will have KC varsity, and then they have the St. Louis coaches one, which is another really good smaller
Yeah.
one that's right before Lindenwood, and then bam, it's Lindenwood. I mean, that's how fast it's going to be. But here's the thing that I always tell people: like, look, I love 7-on-7. I got my boom hat on today, but I can tell you this: our only reason for being in 7-on-7 is just for player development through Elite Football Academy. Okay, And the reason why I say that is that you have to be very careful when you go into the spring. Do not confuse competing. You just spent all
Matt was going
fall
to tell you
competing.
about.
Do not confuse competing on the weekend. Let's say we do it 4 to 5 weekends out of the
Mhm.
entire spring. Not this is across the country. There are people that do 7-on-7 tournaments across the country that are doing 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tournaments over the spring, which means every weekend and into the summer and even part of the winter. And the tough thing with that is that we have a situation where, if you're gone every weekend, how much training are you really getting in? And I think that's the unfortunate thing, is that a lot of people don't realize when you lose the ability to train and focus on the small amount of time you actually have in the off season, and you work on competition, I think that's a tough way to do it. So I think we lost JP here, but
There I am.
but
I
yeah,
just
so I don't know how
thank you, Ryan.
but I was talking about, like,
I
be
heard you.
be aware of doing too much competition in the spring, because
Right.
in winter, because the fall is for competition, right?
Mhm.
And it's for tackle football, right? I would not
Right.
advise going to play tackle football in the spring, but or the summer until you with
So
your team.
so I mean, you see some of these 7-on-7 teams where it's every weekend, right?
Yeah,
It's got guys who are every weekend and they're traveling road show.
yeah,
Um,
you're gone Friday through Sunday, and
yeah. How do so
covering
you're
Monday. Like, how do you? My point would be, is how do you get the training in that you need to be ready to be seen? And that's where I think people confuse competition. And let me just call it the way it is: a 7-on-7 on a good weekend. Okay, it's a 20-minute game. 22 minutes is what they are. Running clock. You get 3 guaranteed games, right? In your pool play typically, and then the fourth is your guarantee. So you got 4 guaranteed. So that's what, 80 minutes worth of playing, which
Mhm.
it's just like a regular football game, only no clock stoppage. So 20 minutes is like a 20-minute running clock. So it goes really fast. So, like, you get 3 to 4 um, offensive series a week, a game. So let's say you get 4 games. Let's just call it 16 series. If you're not the star, if you're splitting with someone, you might get 8 of those, 8 series, 4 plays, 3 plays, 2 play, whatever it is, 10
Mhm.
plays. But and how many targets do you get? So my point is that, yes, the competition is good, but it's not the only thing. If you're not going out, so our guys, we want them training and then going to compete and then come back and train and then
Right.
sprinkle in the competition, only because, like, we know what's coming, right? And I understand, like, that some people's business model is totally different than how ours is set up, but ours is set up, and I don't view 7-on-7 as a business model. It's
Right.
just not. It's just it's part of what we do, and it's an
It's a
ancillary product. It's a support product
it's
to
an add-on, right.
add on. And so the skill development and performance training are the two things that, if that's all you're going to do, I promise you, it'll be just fine when those combines come around, right? And I think that you as a quarterback, you're like, oh, I got to throw to your guys at the field, throw after
Mhm.
skills training, right? Like, those are things you could be doing. And yes, I do think it's fun, so I'm not taking anything away from it. It is nice to travel around a little bit, but the truth of the matter is there's no recruiting now. I would probably change my tune if there was a lot of recruiting that took place in 7-on-7. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
The film, you can put film out, as you know, and I know. The film, for whatever reason, when you're filming 7-on-7, does not look nearly as coherent,
Impressive, right.
as impressive as a tackle football game. Um, so yeah, I just think you just got to be careful with what you spend your time and money on in the off season. And again, you can kind of accomplish it all if you want, but if you're playing in another sport, it severely cramps that time. And then, it's kind of it just becomes like, okay, what do I need to spend my time on? And you and I both know, if you show up more skilled and you show up faster, those are going to take care of a lot of and answer a lot of
Hey,
questions.
yes.
So,
That's everything. No, the main thing should remain the main thing, right?
mhm.
And like I said, to me, 7-on-7's an add-on. Nothing wrong with it. It's good.
Right.
Keeps you active, all that. But you're absolutely right. The main thing is to develop yourself, and develop yourself physically, because really develop yourself physically and develop your skills is amazing. I mean, that's what schools are looking for, because we say it all the time. We say it every week, and I'll say it again with the portal, right? You've got to be, as ready made as possible for them to even consider you. There are guys out there right now who are still looking for homes, and trust me, they could play D1 football, but there's not a spot, right? Or there's not the scholarship spot. There might be a walk-on spot, but the reason is because of the transfer portal. So you can't just hang out. You can't just, I mean, high school, you should enjoy it. It should be fun. You should play the sports you like, but at some point you got to get serious. If high level college football or college football at all is what you
Yeah, it's
want.
all high level, really. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah,
agree, right? It's all high level. But I do
yeah.
think that so many people get caught in the trap of, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play for my high school, and it's going to work. It's just like that guy was saying. Oh, I've done this for 15 years, and I mean, I never recruited anybody like through a recruiting service. Well, wait a second.
No,
Did
that's
you
not
not
true.
did your company or did your group not subscribe to a scouting
Correct.
report, which most
Right.
every
Every
NCAA school
every college
subscribes
has.
to multiple.
Right.
You have to be,
Some schools have as high as a $17 million budget
yeah,
or that was the last time I checked, and that was years ago,
right.
for that exact reason. So yeah.
Names. It's like acquiring names and lists, right? And so
Yep.
you have that. Then you have your analysts and your people that are reviewing film and all that. So you have to have and that's why like on our Get Offered, which is going to be an app here fairly soon. It's a web app right now, but it'll be in the iOS and Google Play Store. But really, the main reason to do it is so you have an organized fashion to get your information out to the colleges, right? So when you're sending your stuff and they click on a link, it's got all your pertinent information in one spot because we know what they're looking for, right? Height, weight, 40, all that stuff, GPA, ACT. Then they want to look at, your stats, obviously, is important, your contacts. If you have any other offers, right? That's good to know. That actually helps. All those things, your all your verified combine stats, all
Which
those
is
things,
huge.
huge. And then, oh, by the way, links to your social media and links to your videos. If you have those things, in a really nice package, it's easier for that person to look at you. Like I'll tell you the other day, one of our college kids, uh, I'll just tell you, he's at Colorado. He's going to leave, right? And he's transfer portal. So then Coach Prime said to him, "Hey, give me 5 schools that you're really interested in going to." Okay. So we talked
Do you
through
know who are the 5? I know who you're talking about.
who were they? It was like a couple Mountain West schools, like
Mhm.
the Wyomings, people like that. And then because that was their suggestion is, hey, you're a Mountain West guy. And then he had
Mhm.
a couple back this way, like Mac schools, and then maybe like an FCS or two. So long story short, I said to the young man, I said, hey, look, Coach Prime said he's going to do this for you. Okay. Make his job easy and give him a list of those schools that you want, the names of the head coach and or the receiver coach or OC, and give the phone number for their main office and put it all in a spreadsheet and hand it to him. Because now it's going to be so much easier for him to do that. It's the same thing with recruiting. When you hand somebody a digital profile that has all that pertinent information that they need to make an assessment, think about the other kid who just sends in the email or the text or the DM that says, hey, I want to play for you. Here's a link to my huddle film. And then that person has to go back to your huddle profile, see if there's anything in there, which there's not a lot of stuff in your huddle profile. Then they got to go to your Twitter. Nope, sorry, they're on to the next guy. Right. And so I think people don't think very deeply through this. They think they throw their film out, that it magically goes into the vortex of film review by everybody in the country.
The
Right.
worst are the guys who put their huddle film up multiple times a day and
Yeah.
don't tag any coaches. They're just posting their film,
Yes.
thinking somehow the coaches are out there and going to find it, and that's horrible. You're wasting your time.
You are wasting your time. I think, you know, the, 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 a good strategy might be to go off of that is repackage some of your stuff as we get deeper into the winter. Because depending on when you put it out, let's be truthful. Very few people probably saw it that needed to see it, other than your friends and family and people like that. So, like repackaging it, if say you're a quarterback, show your run plays. If you're a quarterback, show your on the run, off balance or off platform throws.
It is tougher. It is tougher to be recruited as a quarterback on college football than ever before, and that's the craziest thing because it's the most important position.
Brutal, right? Because they don't want to have to develop a lot of guys, so like you have to be so much further ahead with your footwork and all that stuff.
And if you're not, you have to be willing to climb, make moves. You're probably going to have to make multiple moves in the transfer portal. You have to know how to do that. Yep.
Unless you get lucky. But but speaking of, actually, we put Braden's film out the other day, like his actual huddle film. And one of our friend of the show, a Ram scout, gave me a quick message because he saw it on social media. And it was cool because he's in the business of scouting people, right? And so he gave me like a one-liner, like his synopsis of Braden's skill set, right? And it was pretty cool because they're so used to looking at it, and they do these like quick hit write-ups, and so it was like like da 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 da. Kind of gave it, but it was interesting to see like what his perception was of a younger guy. And the first thing he said was,
"What's that?"
Footwork, unreal footwork. Really, he's like so consistent, ready to throw at all times. So to me, those are the things you want to hear when other people are watching you, right? And so like you want to hear what other people think when they see.
Well, somebody has been talking about his footwork for years,
right? Right, exactly.
That guy don't know anything.
No, right? No, JP has said that numerous times, and so to me,
you always think I'm just saying it because of our relationship,
right? I mean, exactly. I mean, but the truth is,
that's good.
I know you well enough that you're going to tell me you'll shoot me straight. I mean,
it's great to get his perspective.
It is. It's cool because
especially unsolicited.
Yeah. And so, but then, like every weekend too, like he's out scouting NFL teams, and that's the other thing is I don't think people know. They pre-scout obviously games, but then they're scouting the other players on the team because, if something happens and they need to trade for someone, or they need to get them through free agency, or they need to get them through, take them off the practice squad, whatever it might be. They're always reevaluating the other people that are within the league. And that's why you see like a Cody Schrader 2 weeks ago was with the Texans.
Goes quick. Now I saw he's with the Broncos. Hey,
he might go to the Super Bowl.
We're done. We've reached the end. It's gone that fast. Fastest 48 minutes of football talk. Where can people reach you?
Elite Football, Elite Football on X, Elite Football Academy Instagram, and elitefootball.net.
Yep. Catch me JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scouts U on Instagram, Game Plan Strategies, gpsfootball.org. We will talk to you next week.